Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Sistrunk, and I'm reaching out to the student body. Okay, students, I decided to get up this morning, do a little work, but I said, you know what? I'm going to go do another lab. Complete the labs so you can see how I manipulate my labs and make changes to my labs. So let's do another lab. This lab is called 2.3.7 Packet Tracer Navigating the iOS. Now this is going to teach you something about the iOS. I want to show you this process in depth. So I'm going to just shrink this down since I know what I'm going after, and then I'm going to open up my handy dandy folder that I created on my desktop that has all my work in, so I don't have excuses on why I cannot get to my work. Woohoo! Only in America. Okay, so let's go here and open up the files and let's look for that packet tracer. There it is right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that packet tracer up, which I already have it open down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up. I'm not gonna open it up again. So as you can see in this particular packet tracer, it has different items that we're going to put on the actual desktop. Now I'm going to refer to the packet tracer screen here as the desktop so I can build out a network. But before I do that, I'm going to show you something that you can do. You can highlight or just right click. If you right click, you can say print to PDF. Now, for those of you who having a problem with putting this in Word, you can print it to PDF. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I want to print it to PDF, and there it is. And then I'm gonna give it a name. So the name that I'm gonna name it as is iOS. That way I can easily find it. But I'm going to put it on my desktop. As you see, I click this arrow and it went to desktop, and that's where it'll go. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this down, shrink that down, and see if it's on my desktop. And there it is right there. I no longer need this screen, so I'm gonna close that particular screen. Now, I am going to go in here and open up Microsoft Word, and it went to my other screen, so I'm gonna drag it over. Now, I can take this PDF and just put it on the top of the Word document when it opened up, and guess what would happen? Voila! That was magic. You can see that it will populate inside the document, and all I have to do is follow the steps. Now, that's it, people. It's not that hard to do this stuff. You're learning how to use multiple tools inside of your environment. So I'm going to slide this back over to my other screen so I can use it. And I'm going to come here and get my packet tracer. So there we go. Now, I'm going to do this particular packet tracer so you can begin to see how simple and easy this work is. You're learning how to deal with functional networks, and that's what we want to do. The steps in here will tell you exactly everything you have to do. So you don't have to guess the program. No guessing, people. Just read the information and do what the information tell you. I'm actually setting it up so I can have both screens here. So this is a packet tracer navigating the iOS. For those of you who do not know what the iOS is, that is the operating system that's placed on these devices. And when I say these devices, I'm talking about the routers, the switches, and all these intermediate devices that we use. They will not be on the end device, which is a PC. They will be on the intermediate devices, and that's where this operating system will be. So when you hit iOS in terms of Cisco routers and switches, or routers and switches in general, remember they are the operating systems on those particular devices. And when I say they, I'm using that term they because you may have multiple iOSs. So the iOSs change. You know, operating systems consistently change. So you just have to know which one you're working with now. So the objective, part 1, establish basic connections, access the CLI, and explore help. Now, let me say something about the CLI. CLI is the command prompt. Now, if you was in my Linux class that I'm teaching, you'll know all about the CLI. Take Linux, you need Linux. But anyway, that's what the CLI. As you begin to type in those commands, you add a prompt. That's the CLI. It says part 2, explore the executable modes. And step 3, part 3, set the clock. So we're going to do a little of this to get you guys up and going. Now, the background scenarios are extremely important. And why are they important, Professor? Because when you are in an interview, they will give you background or scenarios. They'll give you a situation and they want you to be able to solve that particular situation. When you go to your interviews, that's how they're going to approach you. So in this particular situation, we're talking about in this activity, you will practice skills necessary to navigating the Cisco IOS, such as different user access modes, various configuration modes, and common command used on a regular basis. These are the things we do on a regular basis. You will also practice accessing the content sensitive help by configuring the clock command. So these are your marching orders. And if you really want to get in depth about it, break the marching orders down into sections so you'll make sure that you're covering each of the marching orders. You want to make sure that you know exactly what you will be doing. Keep these marching orders. Make sure you keep them. See, I can pull this out and put it on a document and know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so part 1, instructions. Part 1, establish basic connections, access the CLI, and explore help. So let's go ahead and do. So I'm going to connect PC to S1 using a console cable. Now I'm not going to read all through this because I know how to do that, but you should read everything. Don't be like the professor and mess up everything. Reading is fundamental. Okay, so I'm going to go to the PC, but I'm going to go get me a console cable. So here is the console cable. So I go to the electric switch and I click on that. That gives me the cables. And remember, I'm saying the electric switch because it looked like a bolt of electricity, but it's the connections spot. So I'm going to go click on that and I'm going to get a console cable. Now this is not hard. All you got to do is move your mouse across and you see the names right there. So that go console. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click here. I'm always going to use RS-232. Now who can tell me what that is and what that means? I'm going to leave it to you guys. And then I'm going to come here and click, and I'm always going to click console because that's what I need to use. So I'm going to click that. Now I'm going to go back to my handy dandy document that disappeared, and there it is. So I did all of that. I connected the console cable from the PC to the actual S1, which is the switch number 1. Okay, we have that up and going. And here is the answer to that RS-233. Who can tell me what that actually means? Okay, let's go to the second one. It says establish a terminal session with S1. So it says click PC and then go to the desktop. Like I said, I'm not going to read all this. You guys know what to do. You should read. So I'm going to go here and then I'm going to click on, I want to establish a console connection. So I'm going to go to desktop and then I'm going to go to terminal, right? Because that's what it says, the terminal. And from the terminal, I'm going to say, okay. Now I got a connection, and as you can see in this connection, the system is actually building up. If I hit enter, there it is. I'm on the S1 switch now. You see it right there. So we can do some basic configurations. Now, what just happened? This is what happened. I want you to understand this. I'm on this PC. I connected a cable that lets me communicate with this switch. And then I went in here and I used an application that would allow me to change configurations onto this switch. That's what I did, people. That's all. And you will learn how to do it, understanding what you're doing. Do not let this stuff intimidate you. And this is how I tell most people. Hundreds of thousands of people in the world, maybe even millions, are doing this. So why can't you do it? Come on, people. Use the thing they put inside of your head called the brain. You got it. You can do it. Trust me when I say that. You can do it. Okay. Not to make this take too long, I'm going to go ahead and bring my document back up. So what's the first thing it wants me to do on here? So I'm going to scoot this over just a little. So I'm on to, so I did all of this. That's complete. Now, if it's more in there to do, make sure you read it and do it. But I'm going to come down here. It wants me to put a question mark right here. This is a command, people. Even though it's a question mark, it is a command. You see what happened when I did that? The question mark went in so fast and it gave me information here. It's telling me about other commands that I can use. Now I can put a T in here and that T will get me to the various commands that, I don't want it to be capital, the various commands that I can use. And guess what it did? The T, I put the T by itself and it gave me this error message. This is how you're going to learn. You're going to make a lot of errors, and you need to make those errors so you can know how to fix things. When you're starting off in IT, people be so cautious not to make errors. You need to make errors so you will know how to fix things. Just don't make an error on a supercomputer or in a live environment. This is your practice time. Practice, 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 so you can be able to get good at this. And as you see, I went and put the T with the question mark right here. Then I put the T with the E and a question mark, and look what it gave me. So it gave me the terminal and it gave me telnet. So you're going to answer these questions here. I'm going to move right along. This is simple stuff. It's not that hard, people. I'm inside of here and I'm using commands. Just that simple. So in the next section, let's blow that up so we can see it. In the next section, part 2, it says exploit executive mode. So we're going to go to the next mode. This is a privilege mode here. So we want to make sure we go to that next mode. So right here, let's go to the next one. So as we begin to exploit privilege execution mode, or EXEC mode, we put the question marks in and it gave us that. Now we're going to type the word enable. Enable going to allow us to go to another level. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go. I'm just going to put enable in and go ahead and go NE. I can use the shorter version. Now this is a shorter version right here, and I hit enter. But just make sure you know the full version. This here is what you should be typing in to get there, but you can use this short version. Now I'm gonna put another question mark in, and it's gonna give me a lot of commands. Yes, even more commands that I can use. So you can see all of these commands here. People, make sure you understand the majority of these commands you will not use, but I can tell you, clear you'll use, clock you'll use, configure you'll use, connect you'll use. You may use copy, debug, you may do that every once in a while when you get on a higher level. But SSH, telnet, you're going to get a chance to use quite a few of these, but don't get nervous. They're just commands, and all it takes is for you to learn them. Okay, so I'm gonna move on down here. You're gonna answer all these questions in this part. I'm just gonna move past that. Now we're gonna go to enter global configuration modes. Now I'm gonna stop right here and say this. We're jumping from mode to mode to mode. I need you to understand all those different modes because those modes are important. This global configuration mode is important. This executive mode is important. And you have all these different types of modes. And the reason that's important is because when it comes to situations where you need to change something, the mistake is always, what modes are you in? Where are you at right now? Are you in the global configuration mode? Are you in this or that mode? And that's how you know if you're making a mistake. So just make sure you read this carefully. These are your keys. Keys like open up a door. These are the keys you need to know. Do not bypass this stuff because when you get stuck, all I will do is look at your program and say, are you in the right mode to be able to do the command, to use the command that you're using? Okay, so I'm gonna go use my second command, which is show. Show command is a command that is so important that it's unbelievable. That show command tells us everything. Okay, so I click show. Now I'm gonna come back up here because I see we're in configuration mode and it shows you how to type that in. So if I just go and type config, will that actually work? I don't know. Let me take a second for you to think about it. I know you already did the lab. You don't have to think at all, but let's go ahead. So if I type in config, okay, so now I typed in config and it put us in the configuration mode. So just make sure you understanding that you changing from one mode to the next mode. And to simply get out, I tell people this all the time, just type in exit and you're out of that mode. Now, it wants you to change the clock. I'm not going to go do that. I think I did that up here, right? Yeah, I did that up here. So I'm not going to do that again. But you're going to change the clock and I'm going to move on. That's pretty much it right there. Just being able to change the clock. I'm going to let you change the clock on your own. But people, you see that this is really simple. Really, really simple. I need you to step up to the plate and say, hey, professor, I got this. You can do it. With that being said, this is Professor Cisco. Stay focused.